if it is true that everyone must have eaten GMO at a point in time, that explains clearly why we should interrogate the impact of GMOs, because they have been around and we have seen some consequences. And that's why we're asking questions. And I think everybody who eats food should ask those questions. And people should stop demonizing or criminalizing those who ask questions. Because we see a movement, a trend that seeks to take absolute control of the human person to the extent that you give me something to eat and I don't have any right to even question what I'm eating. That's unfair.
The prof said yesterday, because I asked him, either me or one of my colleagues, I did ask, I said, look, the future, as far as GMO is concerned, I said, look, his argument is there's no scientifically proven data that shows that GMO cause cancer and all of that. So is this a question of scientific scholarship imbroglio, or there is actually something that we can look at and say, this supports these facts?
Both ends are tenable. You see, scientifically, there are hundreds of, I'm a scientist. I'm a professor of bioinorganic chemistry. And there are hundreds, tons of scientific publications proven in established journals, proving the relationship, negative of course, of the impact of GMOs on human or animal health. Because some of the studies are done on animals and some are observatory, some are meta-studies, something we call meta-analysis. So when you take a population and you look at the impact of the certain kind of thing they've been ingesting, and you can draw up inferences. So there are tons of reports on that. Then secondly, you say, this is food. This is food. There's something naturally, everybody knows, it's called food poisoning. If you ate something, some pudding, or you ate something about 8 hours ago, and then your system begins to respond, you don't need me to go to the laboratory to tell you that you should find out what is causing that. And we have seen, there is a very popular report by Professor Arlini in Italy, who demonstrated how they ingest feeding rats. Because, you know, in animal studies, we look at those species that have similarities with the humans, and rats are like that. Now, these things cause testicular tumors. They caused cancers in those rats. Genetically modified maize was fed those animals, and it caused cancers. And again, in science, we are also looking at the food chain. We've interrogated the food chain. There is this group of chemicals. I'm traditionally a chemist, moved into bioinorganic chemistry and into experimental medicine. Now, we have observed that, for example, a chemical, a herbicide known as atrazine, which was very fondly used around our environments, was causing a change of sex in amphibians, in frogs, in waters. Because, you know, when farmers apply these things, the crops that we eat are produced by plants that are known as vascular plants. That means they uptake, they have vasculature, like we have veins and arteries in our bodies. So when these things are applied, and you know, these genetically modified organisms come with herbicides, pesticides, because, mind you, it's the same companies that are producing both. The companies like Monsanto, sorry to call the name, a company that was producing herbicides suddenly transformed into producing GMOs. Now, we have also seen the process of genetic modification incorporates some herbicides. That's why you have like a popular market name herbicide that is very popular across Africa. In Nigeria, is very popular. From Benue, where I come from and I work, I see a lot of farmers use it, go to the market, it's everywhere. Now, that chemical, that herbicide is called Roundup. And that herbicide is incorporated in the modification of some of those crops that are pushed to the market for commercial planting. They are called RR soy or RR maize or Roundup ready. That means these crops can withstand Roundup. That occasions farmers to apply Roundup at liberty to the fields. Because before now, let me give you a story. Before now, this company that was producing this chemical, this herbicide, was selling, and the major markets were here in Africa. But something happened because of the something we call scientifically phytotoxicity. These chemicals are toxic to the phytochemistry of the phytophysiology of the crop, of the plant. Now, these chemicals were also adversely affecting the crops, the plants. And farmers were experiencing some adverse effects, some of the crops dying together with the weeds. So these companies now came up with modifying the crops so that they can withstand the impact, the effect of those herbicides. Now farmers are at liberty to apply those herbicides freely without fear of harming their crops. And what that means is that more herbicides are pumped into the environment, unlike when I was growing up, that my parents and myself, when I was being taught how to farm, because Benue is the food basket of Nigeria. And we all farm. Every household in Benue is a farming household. So we used to pull out weeds, but now go to Benue, everybody is applying pumping chemicals. And now what that means is that environmentally, when rain falls, there is runoff, there is washdown. And some of these residues are run off into surface waters, and some of them seep into groundwaters. And then it ends up in human bodies because people drink those things, and some of it is absorbed and retained, persists in the vasculature or even in the anatomy or the structure of the seed crops. Well, so people eat those things, and these adverse effects are being experienced. If you go to the hospitals now, you see the graph is climbing. Juvenile diabetes. Before now, diabetes type 2 was not a disease of children. Before now, hypertension was not a disease of children, but it's rampant now. Where is it coming from?
Now, I'm going to go on here and stop the video there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put the link in the description, and you can go and look at the whole video. But what made me want to do this is it's hard to go shopping looking for real shit, and you don't know what the real shit is or not. You know what I'm saying? So some just told me, you know what I'm saying, like look up like what are the side effects to GMOs, like eating GMO fruits and vegetables. Already knowing, you know what I'm saying, you can't go to Google and ask these questions in Google, because Google's gonna give you an answer to make it seem like it's okay, because it's all the same system. You know what I'm saying? They all the same people that's in cahoots with this shit. So they're not gonna give you the information that you really need, because it's gonna prevent you from getting this shit that they really want you to get. So they're gonna give you false information. So it's hard to get real deal information about these things, because these white folks is not gonna tell you the motherfucking truth. And that's why this video is what you see. And that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? And this is no reason why this video shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, millions of views, you know what I'm saying? They don't want you to know certain shit. But it's crazy though, man, because watching this shit aggravates a nigga, because it is like, who the fuck are they to dictate our life? You know what I'm saying? Like, but all the anger and frustration can't go to them, because we consume it. We consume it. And majority of us consume without knowledge. But when you have the knowledge, then that makes the difference of you knowing better and not knowing better. You're just doing it to yourself at that point, once you have the knowledge. So this is for all the motherfuckers who don't have the knowledge. You know what I mean? You are what you eat. This shit is changing your molecular system, man. Like, because that's all it is a mechanism. And they putting this shit in us, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, y'all go check this out, man, and be careful out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my whole purpose, is to spread knowledge, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, spread some knowledge about things that they don't want. I'm trying to wake some niggas up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all go check this video out, and be careful, man, on what you eating, man. Pay attention to the small print. You know what I mean? We gotta get out there in the dirt, man. We gotta put this shit up ourselves, man. We gotta grow our own shit. If you want to eat meat, you gotta go hunt that shit yourself, man. You know what I mean? Because if you buying this shit from the store, you don't know what the fuck you eating, bro. Straight up, man.